Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a quick video on a 5-minute face. I know that some of us don't always have the time to put a whole bunch of makeup on, nor do we really want to. But if you are having one of those days where you just feel like you need to spruce your face up a little bit to make you feel good, or if you're going to be running errands, you're going to be going out of the house and you just need something to do really quickly. If you have in between kids running around and breakfast and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to do a quick 5-minute face that you can do. And anything that I do in this video, obviously, you can alter based off of what you have a preference of using in terms of the amount of products that I use. I'm not going to be using a ton of product, but for some people it might be too many steps. And for some people it might not be enough steps. So you can kind of tweak it in whichever way you choose. But this is kind of the steps that I use when I do my 5-minute face before, after I get out of the shower, before I go downstairs to feed the kids breakfast. So I'm going to time it just to see if it actually is 5 minutes, but it should be. So here we go. I do have moisturizer on, so that's kind of the first step that you would use. I'm going to apply my CC cream. So I have my Arbonne Intelligence CC cream, which you can see here. And then because I need a little bit more coverage on my skin, I'm going to use the Inglot HD Cover Up Foundation in number 76. I tend to use a darker and a lighter shade because I like a little bit more depth to my skin. But again, you can kind of do whatever you want, however you want. And I dab this all over my face. Don't forget to get in your hairline, just to make sure that you're blending up everywhere so you don't have any spots missing. For this purpose of a 5-minute face, I put my foundation over top of my eyes just to really even out my dark circles. They're not crazy dark, but they're definitely there. So I do that. And then I also put my foundation under my eyes, not too close to the eye area, just because I don't want to have any creasing or anything. But I do find that that does help, again, with the dark circles. And don't forget to blend into your neck. And you can do, oh, my earring is falling out. You can do a little bit, I've seen people do some on their ears too. I don't really do that. And if you need to go back in anywhere, that should be good. All right, perfect. Sometimes if you use your fingers or you just kind of press the product into your face with your hands, the warmth of your fingers just kind of softens everything up a little bit. All right, the next thing I'm going to use is the Got You Covered Mineral Powder Foundation with a broad spectrum SPF 15. It's an Arbonne loose powder. It's a little bit darker, so I'm using it as my bronzer or contour. I do like to use a bit of bronzer when I do my makeup. That's just my preference, but some people don't, so whatever you prefer. I'm using it with a fluffy brush just because I don't need it to be like chiseled contour or anything like that. So I just kind of work around my cheekbone area, and then I really work it into my hairline just to create the illusion of kind of like that sun-kissed look. And then I blend into my neck too. All right, perfect. All right, next I'm going to use a little bit of blush. I'm going in with my NYX Sweet Cheeks brush palette. I'm going to use a little bit of this kind of peachy tone with something a little bit darker. I do like to blend my colors just because I find it gives a little bit more dimension to my cheeks. I like to smile so that I can see the apples of my cheeks, and generally I'm using a fluffy brush, and I usually work in this apple area, and then I kind of work up into the hairline a little bit too. And I know that some people don't wear blush for one reason or another. I do find that it really does add like a nice glow, and it brings a little bit more life to your cheeks and your face, which is really nice. And again, it's not a crazy added step. The next thing I'm going to do that I know a lot of women don't use, but I really, really like, is highlight. So I'm using the new Jennifer Lopez highlight from Inglot. It's called Live in the Highlight. And I love this because I use it with a dunce brush like this. This is a MAC 100, I think. My brushes are a bit older, so I don't know if the numbers are still the same now or if they're different, but in any case, I put a little bit of the product into the lid, and I just dab it in the lid, and I'm going to apply it just around my hairline here by the eye. I'm going to bring it under my eyebrows and onto my eyelid as well, and it's just a really, really fast way to get a little bit of shimmer and sparkle. It's like you're putting shadow on, but you're really not trying to, but it gives you that nice glow in the eye area. And you can see like there's like I'm not really doing crazy placement, like I'm just fluffing the product around, and you can kind of see how it just gives a really nice light shimmer to the face. I really like the way that this looks. And it just gives a little bit of highlight to the under the brow bone as well. Another place that you can put a little bit of highlight is just on the bridge of your nose. Some girls like it, some people like to put it on the Cupid's bow here, which is nice, but you can do it however you like. I just like how it gives a little bit extra kind of sparkle to the face without doing anything like super extra. All right, so that's pretty much the face done, to be honest. At this point, you can kind of go, you can stop and let that be your 5-minute face. You can put a little bit of gloss on. I have this really pretty pink gloss, kind of translucent. And that could be it for you. For me, I really like to do my eyebrows. You can see I don't have my eyebrows done today. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen that I generally have my eyebrows done. I like the way that my face looks with my eyebrows done. It doesn't take a whole lot of extra time for me to do it. Sometimes I'll do it in the car when I'm not driving. If I'm a passenger and I'm in a rush and we're leaving the house, I'll do my brows in the car. But brows and mascara are definitely my two must do's. So I'm gonna do my mascara first. I like to use 2 mascaras for some reason. I find that I like the way that my lashes look with the brush from one and the brush from another. So the Arbonne, It's a Long Story. If you have never tried this mascara, you are missing out. It is amazing. It's not overly expensive. It's around $40, give or take $40. I think that's average with some of the luxe brands that are out there. The brush looks like this. So it's nice because it really combs the lashes. Now, if you want to curl your lashes, you definitely can. I don't have my curler here, so I'm just going to skip that step. And it definitely is an added step for sure. So I'm just gonna use what I have. The nice thing about this mascara too is that it is buildable. So if you don't have long lashes and you don't generally wear a whole lot of mascara, you can just do one coat. It helps to give length, it hydrates. If you have really sensitive eyes, this stuff is the best because it doesn't have any of those added ingredients, chemicals, anything like that. It's paraben free, it's gluten, it doesn't have any like fragrance or anything like that in it. So I do know a bunch of women who do use this and love it, especially because their eyes are sensitive. Oh, perfect. Got some on my eyelid there. Perfect. Okay. So just with one coat, you can see the difference between my eyes. It's amazing. So do the other side. And if you want your lashes to be a little bit fuller, you definitely can go in and do a second and third coat if you want. My lashes aren't crazy long, so I do like using this mascara because it kind of brushes all the lashes out to make them look a little bit fuller and longer. So that's that. Now, the other mascara that I really like to use on its own or in combination with this one is the Urban Decay Perversion. Now, it is not vegan only because it does have honey extract in it, but it is amazing. The claim is that it's like you'll get like the biggest, boldest, blackest lashes. It really is a good one. I really like it. I need a new tube, but in any case, I'm using what I have left. But you can see the difference of the bristles. This one is more of a typical mascara wand, but you're definitely getting like a fuller, thicker application with this brush than you are with the other one that I just used. It's a long story. So depending on what kind of look you're going for, you could use one or the other. Now you can use, at this point you could put mascara on the bottom. I haven't been only because I have some dermatitis under my eyes that is super sensitive. So I just skip my bottom lashes, but you can see how it makes a huge difference and it just kind of makes your eyes pop a little bit, which is really, a nice feature. So again, at this point you can stop. I'm gonna finish with my brows. I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay Brow Blade. This is a brand new collection of brow products that Urban Decay has, and they're fantastic, especially if you don't do your brows often, you don't really know how to do your brows, or you just want something that's super simple. They have a couple different products within the collection. This one is great because it's a pen tool and a pencil. So you're getting the double-ended stick. So with the one end, you're gonna draw your brows in, fill them in. And then with the pen tool, it's nice because you can use more of that kind of wispy effect with the pen tool to create hair-like, how do I say it? What I'm trying to say? Hair-like strokes. So it can just be a little bit more natural depending on how you like to do your brows. I will definitely be doing a brow tutorial. I have like a minor obsession with eyebrows. So I love watching how different artists do their brows. I love watching like tips and tricks. Generally, for the most part, you want your brows to be parallel in terms of like the top and the bottom. So I have had my eyebrows microbladed, but that was 2 years ago, so I do need to do them again. And microblading is definitely a good investment, a very worthwhile investment. If you're thinking about it and contemplating, just make sure that you're looking into and reading reviews about technicians and what school they went to, and reviews about people's experiences, because it is like a somewhat invasive procedure. But my brows are very holy. I have lots of holes in my brows, so I do need to fill them in quite a bit. And the idea with filling your brows in, if you don't do it or you find you don't really know how to do it properly or whatnot, is that you really want the top of your brow and the bottom of your brow to be parallel with each other. Do remember that brows are sisters, not twins. And ultimately, they will never look identical. I mean, when you're drawing them on, it's a lot easier to get them to look identical. And sometimes I master it and sometimes I don't. So I guess it just depends on what kind of a day I'm having and how I'm filling them in. But so that's that one. The other thing too is there are stencils out there with their collection. I do believe that Urban Decay came out with a stencil that you can use, which is really cool actually, to help. I've definitely used a stencil before and I'm not opposed to them. Sometimes I find they just give you a little bit of guidance that you need, and it's crazy to see how much a brow makes a difference. So obviously you can see from like one side to the other side how much more my face is formed and shaped with my brow being done. And I find that it also makes my eyes pop a little bit more too. So if you're not using a pen tool or a pencil and you're just using like a powder, if you already have really nice brows and you're using a powder just to fill them in, you can do that too. I've used also eyeshadows, like a matte eyeshadows, just to get them done, fill them in quickly. I don't have time to like really go in and shape them like I am right now. But yeah, anytime I'm doing my makeup, I definitely do my brows. All right. Okay. It's so hard to tell sometimes. And if you end up leaving the house lopsided, well, it'll just be one of those days that you're having. All right, so then I'll just brush them out a little bit. You can use brow gels to help to just kind of fill in any of those hairs that you might have. If you have gray hairs and you color your hair and you don't like the grays in your eyebrows, using a brow gel that has a tint to it is a really great tip, because I find as women we tend to pluck those hairs out, and we want to try to not do that, because then you're going to create holes in your eyebrows, which you don't want, because as we age, our hair doesn't grow back as quickly or at all. And the last thing we want is to create holes because of those thick gray hairs. So if anything, don't pluck them. Keep them there. Go get a brow gel that has a tint to it that matches whatever color your hair is, and it will just help to coat that hair, blend it in with all the rest of your hairs. And the nice thing too is it creates almost like a bond or a gel type effect, so all of your lashes will stay in place. So yeah, I mean, that was definitely over 5 minutes, but that's also because I was talking and whatnot. So you can imagine that doing this upstairs really quickly, either with all of the steps. I generally don't put on a lip product because I'm going downstairs to eat breakfast anyways, but this is my typical morning 5-minute face. It really doesn't take a long time, and it just makes me feel fresh, and my skin is even. You can't see any of those marks that I have on my face, and it just makes me feel good. And I think the biggest thing as a mom who's at home at the moment is that I might not be going anywhere and meeting anybody or seeing anybody, that it really matters that I have makeup on or I don't have makeup on. But I do find that when I'm downstairs putting my boots on, getting the kids ready to take the older one to school, and I catch myself in the mirror, I'm putting my jacket on in the mirror, and I feel like I look fresh, and it makes you feel good and it makes you feel confident. And I think that that's really important, as moms and women who, if you're not going to your 9 to 5 or whatnot, it's still really important to look and feel your very best, because confidence is key. Even if you need to be confident, around your kids. On days when I have done my face and, I washed my hair before I did this video, so, I'll have my hair washed and done and whatever. It makes you feel like you can get more done during the day. Maybe things that would have aggravated you before, don't aggravate you now because you're like, you know what, I got this today. So I hope that these tips helped you out. Again, if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. Please subscribe to my channel, and I would also love to take suggestions too. If you're like, oh my gosh, please do a video on this. I've always wanted to know how to do this. How do you cover up your breakout scars? Or I have mature skin. I don't really know how to do X, Y, and Z. I'd love to take your feedback, because I do have a list of videos that I am going to be doing throughout the future. And I hope that they coincide with things that you're looking for. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.